Hi, my name's Paul Grogan, and in this Gaming Rules Quick and Dirty review, I'm going to be telling you what I think about Transatlantic, designed by Mac Gerdts and published in 2017 by PD Verlag, and then later on by Rio Grande Games. This game was chosen by my Patreon supporters as one of the games that I would review in March 2018. So if you are interested in supporting me on Patreon, then the Patreon page is patreon.com/gaming rules, and it would be great to see you there. Now, the first thing to tell you about this game is comparison to Concordia. And the reason I'm saying that right at the start is because as soon as this game was announced, everybody was telling me it's going to be just like Concordia. Lots and lots of people, and Concordia for me is one of my top 10 favourite games. I don't own it myself, but I think the game is absolutely fantastic. So because I don't own Concordia, and this was being compared to Concordia, and it has a theme which I particularly like, then I was really excited about this game. It's Mac Gerdts. I like his games. So, got this game at Essen 2017, and the comparison to Concordia is a fair one. You have a hand of cards, okay? And on your turn, you play a card, and then it goes into your pile, and then you play another card and everything else, and one of the cards that you play allows you to get your cards back. So, okay, it follows the same card sort of mechanism as Concordia. But the big thing about Concordia is that the cards, because you can get more cards during the game, those are actually your victory points. That's not the case in this game. So the card play follows that of Concordia, but the rest of the game is very, very different. Now, the next thing to talk about this game is the rulebook. It's pretty terrible, I'm afraid. I've got a few problems with this rulebook. For a start, it's not clear. I would hazard a guess, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that no native English speaking person checked this rulebook before it went to print. And I don't mean that to say, if somebody who was native English who did check this rulebook, then I'd like to meet them, because it's pretty terrible. Some of the wording in here is just really off. Some of the layout, there's one line that's even in German, I think. It's just not there. Now, the problem I have with this rulebook, not only is the one that I got made it very difficult to learn how to play, but the rulebook has been updated. I know that because I worked on it. Me and a friend of mine in America and a couple of other people worked on a new version of this rulebook. I even did it for free. I offered to help out. It took me a number of hours, and I went through all of the issues I had with this rulebook, and we fixed them for a new version months ago. And it's now March 2018, and that rulebook is still not online anyway. If you go to Board Game Geek, it's still the old version of the rulebook. And for me, that's a bit of a problem, because I believe that a publisher has, should be supporting the game and supporting the people who buy the game and supporting the fans of the game. We've done the new rulebook. Put it online, make it available so that people can get it, and it's not there. And that's a bit of a problem I have. So yeah, the rulebook is not particularly good. And that doesn't help with learning the game or teaching the game to other people. Now, going on to the game itself, it's kind of advertised as a more strict, well, I say advertised, is what I've heard people saying about it, is that it takes the fundamental part of Concordia and streamlines it down into a shorter game. It might be shorter. It certainly didn't feel shorter when I was playing it, but there are people that I know who've played it who said, yes, it does play quicker than Concordia. I personally didn't feel that in my 3 games of this, but it's been a while since I've played Concordia, so maybe it is a shorter version. It did seem a little bit more confusing to me, but that could have been because of the problems with the rulebook. I wasn't really able to sort of see the direct impact of the actions that I was taking and how that was all gonna pan out. So the next thing to say in this video is do I prefer this over Concordia? And the answer is no. I've played this a few times. I would never choose to play this. I would always choose to play Concordia any day of the week, including Tuesdays, over this game. I'm happy that I've played this a few times, but it just didn't click. And one of the reasons it didn't click, as well as the rulebook, is there are so many issues with the graphic design problems within this game and the colours within this game and the text on the cards. It just makes it a chore, and it shouldn't be a chore to play a game. Games should be good games, and complex games should be made easier to play. So, for example, here's the ship cards, and you have the cost to buy the ship in the red box, and you have the amount of income that the ship gives you every time it runs in the green box. Red and green. Brilliant. don't use red and green, okay? That's the first problem. The other problem with the ship cards is the actual colours of the cards themselves. They're kind of like dark green, dark red, black, dark blue. Okay, so these colours might look okay here, but trust me, when I've played this game in conventions or other places, the colours have been a real problem. Going on to the cards themselves, and you'll notice, I mean, okay, the graphic design is very simplistic and maybe it's supposed to be thematic, I don't know, but it's not a big problem. The problem that I have with the cards, if we look at the director card, for example, then if you've got 6 cards, then you get one of those things, right? Well, that's clear, except here's the things. Look at them. You've got black, green, white, and, oh, you've got red instead of yellow. So there's actually a colour mismatch on the cards to the counters. It's just a bit sloppy. The other thing is, and you'll notice that I've scribbled notes on this one, because this card itself doesn't really match what it says in the rulebook. It's not really clear. And, you know, on the card there's 2 options, whereas there's actually a 3rd option in the rulebook. So I've amended these cards with the actual text. I shouldn't be having to do that in a game. A game that comes out these days that people pay for, that should have gone through a process with the publishers, have been tested and everything else, shouldn't have me writing on cards to make them clearer. So, as I say, the times when I've played this game, the times when I've taught this game, it has been problematic because of the issues within the game. Did I enjoy the game itself? Well, it's hard to say. I don't think I did, to be honest. I don't think I did really enjoy the game. I like the idea of the theme and steamships and sailing ships. And what's great about the game is all of the cards have individual artwork, and that's fantastic, and I love that. But did the theme of the game come across at all when I was playing it? No, it was just mechanical. It was just playing cards that do certain things, and cards move around, ships move around on here, and then when the ships get old, they get retired and they go over here. I didn't feel at all that there was the theme within the game. It didn't capture that at all for me. And just speaking of the theme, the game comes with, and this is really nice, this is Age of Steamships, and it's actually loads and loads of historical information about each of these ships. And going back to the rulebook again, they got somebody to check all of this before the game went to print. They got somebody to check and edit all of the text in English, but not the rulebook. And that's baffling. So it's nice that this comes with the game, you know, and it does provide some historical reference, but it's completely unnecessary, and I wish they'd have spent a bit more time just looking at the graphic design of the cards and the rulebook rather than spending their time and effort on this instead. So yeah, overall, I can't really recommend this game. If you like Concordia, give it a try, but I would always choose to play Concordia over this one. That's about it. That's all I can say about it. If you have any thoughts on this, if you really liked the game and felt that what I've said is completely wrong, or you have similar thoughts, then please put the comments in the show notes below. Until next time, take care, and thanks for watching.